Tov, Rabbi Prague, Boker Tov, Boker. Good morning, Rabbi.
Hi,
Good
Mal.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Mal. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
So in the right place. This morning it was 19 degrees when I drove here.
Wow. Wow.
Sure, that's gonna be.
Wow.
Okay, really?
We had a rainstorm. It's like maboom. What?
Next time it's less properly.
You playing 16th Avenue? That true?
No,
The Jerusalem stone
no,
outside?
regular.
Oh, Shabbat. Oh. Just can't come Fridays, David. You gotta come.
The parasha begins by the arrival of Yitro to the desert. Interestingly enough, the parasha gives Yitro titles. Vayishma Yitro, Kohen Midian, Chotel Moshe. Chotel Moshe we understand. Why is it important to us to know that Yitro was a Kohen, was a priest? He's not a priest now. So Be'emet, if you look at the Rashi, please, she says,
On my class, Rabbi Prague. Who you with?
Now go up. Now go up.
You have to mute yourself.
Sorry, gentlemen.
So the question is, why is the pasuk telling us that he was a Kohen Midian? So Be'emet, there is a big question here. The big question is, the Gemara says in Yebamot, we're not accepting converts. For instance, in the time of David and Shlomo. Why is that? Because it's obvious everyone wants to convert for the money, for the job, for the prestige, to belong to the right team. Everyone wants to join the winners. So the question is, why are we taking Yitro now as a convert? Everyone wants to come. Here is the winning team. The winning team are the Jews. They left Egypt. The enemies are being conquered. Amalek is conquered. The Egyptians are conquered. Of course, you want to join the winners. The Gemara, what?
Not every. I mean,
the Gemara is the same.
There's still people fighting.
The Gemara is the same question. The Gemara has the same question regarding the daughter of Paro marrying Shlomo. It says right in the beginning of as Shlomo becomes a king, he married the daughter of the king of Egypt. And of course, the Rambam tells us that he converted her. The Gemara says, how can you take her as a convert? Says the Gemara, if you're the daughter of the king of Egypt, she's not coming to Jerusalem because of the money. She has the money of her father. If she came because she wanted to convert.
But isn't she the one that was
introduced?
Right. No. Later, all the women that Shlomo.
No.
Later, all the women that Shlomo married, unfortunately, the pasuk says, swayed him the wrong way.
Can't we say the same thing about the Erev Rav, though, who saw Niflaot Mitzrayim?
Right. The same question is the Erev Rav. We should devote once a class on the Erev Rav, but we said already there are many proofs that the Erev Rav did not participate in Matan Torah as the regular Jews. They couldn't stand with the Jews. They accepted them, but they waited to see. So
you should see what the Zohar talks about the Erev Rav.
So,
that was Moshe's.
Okay.
You don't want to say you don't want to say Chas v'Shalom is a mistake, but like Borei Olam didn't want them.
So the Maaseh says Reb Shlomo Ganzfried, this is why the Torah gives us the title Choten Vayishma Yitro Kohen Midian, which means Yitro had a position. The question is, why is the Torah telling us the title Kohen Midian? This is the past. The answer is to answer why are they willing to take him as a convert? Everyone wants to join now the winning team. The answer is Yitro is not coming because they are a winning team, because Yitro had strong positions before. He didn't have to. If he's not sincere about his conversion, he would not come.
Can we say the same thing about Melchizedek?
It doesn't say anywhere that Melchizedek came to convert. Melchizedek
No, but it says it's Kohen Le'el Yon, and he comes to Avram after the victory. And so maybe he was converting as well.
Melchizedek Melech Shalem Hotzi Lechem Vayayin V'hu Kohen Le'el Yon is coming to bless him and to, so to say, welcome him. But it doesn't say that he converted. He's Melchizedek.
It's Shem.
Melchizedek had the Sheva Mitzvot B'nei Noach. He had the Sheva Mitzvot B'nei Noach. He had the Sheva Mitzvot B'nei Noach anyway.
And how do we know that he's converting?
It doesn't say anywhere because conversion did not exist.
No, here.
She said that Abraham and Sarah converted means to believe in Hashem. This was the only thing then, to accept Sheva Mitzvot B'nei Noach. This was the full.
But how do we know that Yitro was converting?
You mean how do we know from the text? Because it says Vayikach Yitro Ola u'shlamim. If he did not convert, the shlamim are pasul. Ola he can bring. There's no korban that you can accept. And the fact that he's blessing Baruch Hashem, as we spoke last night.
Right.
Yeah, no, there are many. Yeah. It says Vayikach Yitro Choten Moshe Ola u'zvachim le'Elokim. The only korban that a non-Jew can offer. We mentioned Ola.
Because you can't eat any.
Right. We mentioned last night to see in Tanakh in two places when Shaul is going to fight Amalek and the beginning of Sefer Shoftim, the descendants of Yitro are settling in Israel as what? Right. Why did they get a share in Israel? We saw in Sefer Shoftim that the descendants of Yitro are the first one to join that Miyav Ben Knas, right? Yericho.
It's interesting that it doesn't say.
Look a second.
So, Rabbi, what your point? We got distracted. So I just wanted to get the point the Rabbi's trying to make. So,
but a trillionaire converts is not converting for joining the team. He had the team before. This is why Kohen Midian, Torah says the man had whatever a person thinks he needs before he converted. Why did he say why does he come? Obviously, because
but can't we say
conversion is
the opposite also? When he was Kohen Midian, wasn't he an outcast? He was only in Midian. That's why his daughters were the shepherds. He didn't have.
The reason he was an outcast is because he's offending.
He abandoned the common.
Of course, people are upset.
So then he's converting. It's not. I'm not giving him a shebach. He wants to be part of a team. I'm playing doubles.
I understand. But even in Midian, if he wanted to play together, right, he didn't have to start to look for other religions. Every time you're trying to disassociate yourself from the fact that even by Midian already started to look a second and the advice is.
Do we know when he started to look?
Difficult to know, right?
Like, because when he left Paro, it doesn't seem like he left because he was looking for a God. He just didn't think it was right what Paro was doing. I mean, that was
we mentioned last night, Yaakov Kamenetsky said the fact that he left shows that deep inside something was moving.
Right.
Because if you are in communist Russia,
you don't think. You have
to think to give up such a position.
He was
to go to nowhere.
Doesn't actually tell us he was searching. He went through all the avodas in the
world.
world.
You know where?
He's asking, when did he start? I mean, obviously, he's always looking. When did he start?
The fact that he ran out from Paro,
because something wrong is going on, shows that the man is willing to. Look a second on the advice that he gives. Very interesting observation. What Yitro tells Moshe to do as a chief justice, and what Yitro. Look a second.
Chief Justice, Rabbi. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Supreme Court.
Listen, Baruch Hashem, the Supreme Court. I just want to mention first, look a second in 398. Look at Pasuk Chav. He said it last night, but I want to repeat it. It's something according to us as parents, father-in-law, and
But
each one of us.
just walk around with your hands up, you'll be fine. Hands up and walk around.
Look a second. והזהרת אתם, פסוק כ', והזהרת אתם את החוקים ואת התורות, which means teach them all the laws.
It says torah, like there's two torah.
תורה שבתורה. והודעת להם את הדרך ילכו בה ואת המעשה אשר יעשו.
Show them the right path.
After you gave the first half, what is the second half? If I teach you all the chukim and all the Torah, obviously, okay, so Jimmy says, the customs. Listen to something Amet to us as parents, past parents maybe. The job of a real manhig is to tell everyone, this is your mission in life. Which means every grade, if you look in Tanakh, or especially if you read them, this is the gifts you have. This is the qualities you have. We have to point to each one.
Tell them what their strengths are.
Our educational system, the world educational system is both sizes fit one.
It's a big test. This is a big test, this question to me.
No, but to realize,
Are you getting this out of the pasuk? How we seeing this in the words of the
you're not
pasuk?
seeing what the pasuk is saying. You're not saying pshat.
Some people go the whole life.
והודעת להם את הדרך ילכו בה. You, David, have to go this, and he has to go. זה הפסוק אומר, לא שהוא לא.
הודעת להם.
להם, each one, ואת המעשה אשר יעשו.
See, but only Moshe Rabbeinu can do something because I mean not every person is able to see
You learn. So we mentioned last night. Let's say an Isha has in Shiva of Bnei HaNevi. What did Isha say? Learning Kabbalah. You and you. If you want to, I mean, I'm using an example, just an example. Shivat Chaim Berlin started in East New York.
Right.
Yeah,
You want,
so they started.
if you want to see the greatness of the
Who started?
יש תלמידים הוא הראשי ישיבות, יש תלמידים הוא הרבי, יש תלמידים הוא in every place in American Jews.
Today?
This is, you know, 5 o'clock, wrote everyone downstairs, everyone else cannot learn without the sefer. He told him at the young age, I see that you are not halacha. This is it.
That's your special.
Even though, you know, in this type of yeshivot, Lumdus is the main thing, so this is you. Go to East at 12, Rabbi David, Rabbi.
So it's like what Hacham Ezra did at the time.
It's exactly.
He sent them out all over the world.
The same.
The rabbi is saying more. Specifically see what his strengths are.
No, but he said Hacham Baruch here. He said this one here. You have to know the community.
If you read the book, we have the book. It's Chokhmah Musar. Says he used to go with.
They used to walk back.
Used to go together. Used to sit pages by pages. Look. I'm saying about Chacham Ben Zion. Look at the difference in halakha. Different direction. As Chacham Ben Zion became real Rosh Yeshiva, he has real Talmidim. Chacham Ovadia went totally different directions, totally different. Ovadia couldn't have done what he did, of course he couldn't have done. Then,
each one has like a
Zion Levi, look at this. This is the sign of real beginning.
Even with the kids.
What?
You see,
Not even. It begins with kids, David. It begins with kids.
The Ben Ish Hai writes something very similar. He says a person, he just talks about it, but he says every person has to find out what they came to this world for.
This is exactly.
No, but he writes for 99% of the people, it's very difficult because we're always in the middle. He says if you see someone who's very good at one eye, if you see a guy who is, let's say, unbelievable in Tzedakah, you know he's coming to be metaken, and in the previous life, he was cheap. No.
Why Jacobson has a pasuk on this from Moshe Rabbi.
Right. Are average, so it's very hard to find what you gave.
Says Le'odia L'bnei Adam Givurotav. To tell your son Givurotav, his Givurot.
Does this include ladies? Are you supposed to tell your wife what she's good at?
She's supposed to tell you what you're doing.
If I tell her, I'm going to say Rabbi Prague said. So I just want to know.
Are you going to say that? Then you killed it. Just open it like that.
Yeah.
I want to know if he's on board, you know. Otherwise, you might get a phone call.
Look a second, now Pasuk Chavbet. Believe it or not, the Gemara says, Aisha makeret והולכים יותר מן האיש.
שיש בינה יותר.
Which means to analyze this concept, the Gemara is
It's an insight.
No, but to analyze a man, look now, Pasuk Chavbet. This is still the advice of Yitro. ושפטו את העם בכל עת, והיה כל הדבר הגדול יביאו אליך, וכל הדבר הקטון ישפטו. So remember, Yitro is dividing the cases to two. Gadol and Katan.
He meant money. He also meant.
Let's see a minute. When what Moshe is doing.
He changed it. Yeah.
Look a second in Pasuk page 400. When Moshe is appointing them, ושפטו את העם בכל עת, את הדבר הקשה יביאון אל משה, וכל הדבר הקטון, which is not קשה, ישפטו הם.
Funny, he didn't say kal. He should have said kal.
Why is Yitro speaking about דבר גדול and קטן? And when Moshe is instructing, says Reb Chaim Berlin, believe it or not, he was the chief rabbi of Moscow. This is what he says. Yitro is thinking with concepts of non-Jews. $1 trillion case, you
big guy.
Two people are arguing with $100. This is katan. Judaism says din pruta, din mea. So when Moshe is instructing them, he says complicated cases.
It doesn't make a difference the monetary value. Yeah, even if it's $2, but you can't have it.
It's two ways of looking on life. Right. He's saying gadol and katan. Makes no difference who argues, who are the people. Every argument, there are numerous stories. Many goyim, the argument of the Jews chose to go to three of great Jewish rabbis. In cases that the rabbi decided that the goy is right, the rabbi told the goy, you win. If he refuses, take him to court and I'll testify. Rabbi, I'll come to the non-Jewish court to testify on your behalf.
If the Jew doesn't accept
justice, because justice is justice. You see it.
Tzedek.
You see it. It's my value. Look a second here.
Rabbi, in actuality, it's very hard to be serious on a case. If they're arguing over $10, $20, or $100, I'm just saying, in reality, you know.
I agree, but why is Rabbi would say?
Split it and finish.
But
you'd have to tell you, that's why if you talk to people who really don't want to go to Beit Din, really, emet people, you know what they tell you? Because they know all the rabbis say is split. That's the number one things the rabbis say is peshara. The guy doesn't want peshara. He wants a real case.
One of the reasons why the rabbi suggests peshara is
they push it, not just suggest it. They push it hard.
Why is Chacham Yaakov asked me to sit together on a case? Okay, so I'm listening. Then when I'm good, I told them, okay, here's the argument. It was someone went into the apartment. I went into the facts that I saw. To each one presented whatever you wanted. The reason why the rabbi is so afraid is because. But
that's your job as a judge is to go do
Hakira. You have two separate.
Go do it. Forget what the guys are saying.
To realize it, Jimmy, to realize how often people are willing to lie. I mean, the guy, the question obviously was a couple $1,000. Should you fix the house? Should you not fix the house? Can I break the contract? Can I not do it? Okay. Look a second. It's very, very.
David was punished for splitting the case.
Yes,
for splitting.
Yes. Let me give you a very interesting example. Simple example. You be the judge, but listen carefully. You give your wife. The story happened approximately 4 years ago. You gave your wife $200,000, a large amount, to go to China to buy a marriage license. So remember, the money is yours. Your wife is Shaliach. This was, anyway, she lost the money. This was Kovna, big city. She comes to the Gabayim in the shul and they said, listen, we make an announcement in shul. Maybe I can tell exactly how many $100 bills.
Maybe somebody found it.
Sure enough, a Jew comes and I found it. She gave the simanim exact. Says to give it back. He says no. Says I'm not a Talmid Chacham, I'm not a rabbi, but I learned the Gemara every Metziot. It says if you find a Metziyah in a city, most are non-Jews, you give up right away, which means when you lost it, it's happened.
You gave up.
You gave up. Be'emet is right. He's right. He says, and she says it. This is our business. He says, I have to do this. No, he says, I would love to get.
No, but Rabbi, what kind of person is that? If overdied, that it's their money. So now you're using a technicality.
Jimmy.
It's a technicality.
I agree with you, but
But the law is the law.
The law is the law. I got it.
Rabbi Prague? Rabbi Prague? Rabbi Prague?
Only that me and you, Baruch Hashem, never felt what it means to have to marry to daughter and
You don't have it.
have the money. Baruch Hashem. I'm not saying you should. But you
Right.
understand, the man was Tishma. Anyway, Tishma.
That's why we
The lady,
affordable weddings here,
see
Rabbi.
the beauty of the story is that the lady says, I'm not a scholar, I hear what you say. There is a rabbi in Kovna, let's go to the rabbi. The rabbi was Rabbi Tzchon. Okay, let's hear the case. A woman says, my husband gave me 200,000, and I lost it, the guy found it. Then he said to the guy, so what's your opinion? What do you say? So he says, Rabbi says to him, you're 100% right. Whatever you learned is correct, but you're obligated to give it back.
Obligated.
He says, why?
She's not the owner.
Listen, this is your husband's money, and he doesn't know that you lost it. It's Yerushalayim Midah. Yerushalayim Midah for Abba Yehuda.
Wow.
This is Choshen
She's
Mishpat.
not the.
Not only David, they didn't have a cell phone. See, today, the minute you lost
If
it,
I was her and whatever little I know, Shaliach Adam Kimoto.
good.
But not for you.
Time out. Ishto Kegufo. If she's Midya'ish, it's as if he's Midya'ish.
No, he's the
no,
man.
no,
He's
no,
the
no,
man.
no,
He's
no,
the
no,
man.
no.
Jimmy,
Argue with the
this is-
rabbi?
I'm
No,
asking him.
no,
I'm asking him
no.
halachically now.
He just told you.
No, I know what he answered because he wanted to get out of
Rabbi Prague? Rabbi Prague?
Yes, I'm listening.
Just to lighten up the mood a little because it's getting heated. So there are two Jews on a train. Two Jews from Munkach are on a train. And they're going to Kovno. And one Jew turns to the other Jew and he says, where are you going? I'm going to Kovno. Good. Why are you going to Kovno? There's a very big case. I'm involved in a very big case. So he says, what's the case about? He says, they'll tell me when I get there.
Yeah, okay.
You missed the joke. I'm sorry. I didn't tell it well.
No, but the point, but you realize, no. The
I'm
point,
asking you.
no. Jimmy has a point. When you learn the sugya, you have to ask. If I have a point,
What is a shaliach? Yesh mahloket or what a shaliach
okay,
is?
let me show. Okay, but not to get out.
Not to go
What happened if?
No,
Listen carefully. Jimmy appointed me to be your buyer. I'm going to Tokyo, a lot of money. Meantime, the guy says to me, representing Jimmy, it was so nice. Here's a bonus. He gave me a Rolex watch. Am I obligated to give it to Jimmy or not?
Otherwise, you're.
No, but he doesn't know. It's the same question.
Yeah, you are. You are. Why is he giving you the Rolex? Not because he likes you, because you're buying for me. I gave you the money. It's my watch.
Or maybe,
He's trying to bribe you. That's what he's trying to do, Rabbi.
The question is general. I'm saying Choshen Mishpat is the most. This is why I'm just explaining again, why many rabbis are looking for Bisharot. Because every detail, if you held one detail, the case is a different case. Look on page 400, chapter 19 is the main chapter of the parasha. ויסעו מרפידים, ויבואו מדבר סיני, ויחנו
Did he give
במדבר.
back the money back?
Yeah.
He gave it back the money. She should have given him a little to do it.
Now, if you want to hear a similar story, but this is סיפור מבהיל מאוד. This is Mezrich, was a big non-Jewish city, but very famous. A poor water carrier found again, bundle of money. The minute he found it, he starts to scream, I found 500 rubles, I found 500 rubles. Sure enough, a widow comes. She gives the simanim. I asked him, why did you scream like this? He says, because I knew that legally I could keep it.
Oh, he wants to protect you.
To make sure that I'm giving back, the minute I announced it, everyone knows now. Now, the woman says to him, let me give you a gift at least. And she was crying, a widow. Says, I don't want. She pressed. She said, you know what? Queen hired a violinist. they bring him to the marketplace, he starts to dance. Thank God that I was mentally sanified.
Thank God.
When he was at the music, Hashem gave him the courage to do it. He knew.
It's a big test.
Again,
Money's one of the hardest tests.
especially if you're poor. We have no idea today that being poor. The Jimmy organized here in Sharet Zion that if you want to make, yeah.
No, Larry, we made a pre-packaged weddings in the shul.
Yes.
So if somebody, so this way they don't have to like feel, you could get a opening package for $35,000.
Affordable wedding, it's nice. It's nice.
And you still get shot in. You get the dog, and they do it without
Jimmy.
eating. Not,
Jimmy,
not-
how much for Ashkenazim, Jimmy?
Double.
we have a special price for those. You got to call me separately. I can't say it on.
There's too many zeros.
Yeah.
Giving you the money not to have a wedding.
No, but the beauty is a respectful one. It's not that you feel that you're
Right, that's what I'm saying. The whole
it's
point
not
was,
as fancy, obviously.
I have to say, we only were able to do it because of Corona.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, what happened? The caterer wasn't paying his rent. So we were able to, I hate to quote some Democrat, but Rahm Emanuel, right? He said, never let a crisis go to waste. So we were able, he owed us rent. He owed us
So
rent.
you tell them, okay.
So he said, okay, if you want to stay, we gave him a discount on the rent, but these are our terms. And he agreed to the terms. That's how we were able to.
Good job, Jimmy. That's really, I think that's one of the most important things to accomplish for Orthodox Jewry is what you did. That's amazing.
You couldn't get it done.
How could you get it? He had a contract.
They're
He doesn't
doing there's a whole catering hall. There are many catering halls in Lakewood. They do this all the time. They're
Yeah,
set.
no, for those people,
Lakewood, you have no choice. Most of the weddings are
20,000, you get everything.
Do you know we're the cheapest wedding in Brooklyn now? I'm not talking about Borough Park weddings, but if you go to Kol Yaakov or the other shuls, we became the cheapest.
Wow.
Yeah, if you take the opening back.
Look a second at the most famous pasuk here.
David gave me a compliment, Rabbi.
Children have to marry.
ויחן שם ישראל נגד הארץ in the famous Rashi, כאיש אחד בלב אחד. Yes, remember the Rashi? Look at the way Rashi says it. כאיש אחד בלב אחד says Rashi, אבל כל שאר החניות היו בתרעומת ובמחלוקת. Says the Orach Chaim that this was a precondition to receive the Torah. The Orach Chaim says that this pasuk is a precondition. Says if they would not be united, there's no way to accept the Torah.
What's the word?
Chanaya.
Camps, in camp.
Yeah, I just want to.
Now, why is this pasuk essential? Look a second and
But
forward.
what's he saying? That there was parts that were separated?
Not only this, every place they camped, they had
fighting, complaining.
Complaints against Moshe. The only time that somehow, but again,
Water, no man,
But it was against Moshe, not internal. Was it internal, like Jews
Moshe,
against Jews,
but
or against?
you have to realize every time the Torah tells us about complaints, it's not that everyone complains.
A few guys.
Always, this is, as always.
Until today, there's a few loud guys. That's
Oh, it's always in every society. Why is this very important? Look a second. Look at Pasuk 402. Pasuk Chet. ויענו כל העם יחדיו again, ויאמרו כל אשר דיבר השם נעשה. Keep in mind that we all know that נעשה ונשמע, נעשה ונשמע. There's no נעשה ונשמע.
It's just נעשה.
Where is the נעשה ונשמע, David? The end of Perashat Mishpatim, believe it or not. Later on, why is that? Listen carefully. The Mabit, one of the greatest Sephardic rabbis, wrote Sefer, 2 volumes, Kriyat Sefer. Here in the introduction has a simple question. If the Torah was given to every Jew, there was never a Jew that can ever fulfill all the mitzvot. Ever. Kohanim, Leviim, ladies, business people, farmers, Israel, king, לא שייך. Says the Mabit, תשמע טוב, ויענו כל העם יחדיו, ויאמרו כל אשר דיבר השם נעשה.
That's why
That's the same thing with Abraham. Vayelchu shteihem yachdav. That's the same concept.
But listen to this. But here, no, but this is here is the halachic concept that if we are united, Me and you are fulfilling the mitzvah of shmita by being united to the farmers who do it. And when we are doing here extra tzedakah, a poor man that doesn't give counts as part of us. Kol asher diber Hashem. Beautiful.
I have a question here. We know the famous Orah Haim HaKadosh. He says every time it says Ha'am, it's not talking about Bnei Israel, it's talking about Erev Rav. So how would he explain this pasuk Ha'am?
And the contrary, this works well.
Why?
Even the arm, which normally are not so much.
So he would say Ze Erev Rav Davka.
The lowest, you know.
No, who Omer Sham Erev? I think the Orah Haim hold, right? Eli's the Orah Haim.
By the egg.
Yeah, but I think he
Yeah,
says
that is correct. When he says Ha'am, he means
It's always
he means
the Erev
Erev
Rav.
Rav. As opposed to otherwise he says Bnei Israel.
Right. Here, even the in Parashat Mishpatim, it doesn't say Vayanu Kol Ha'am Yachdav. It says Kol Ha'am, not Yachdav. The only time the precondition to receive the Torah was here. Listen to this. Listen to this now.
So from here, here where they were all together, all on the same page.
It's possible to accept all the
In
Torah.
one day, they blew it. We did it again.
Okay, no, a few weeks, few months. The answer, David, really isn't like this. When a man comes into Sha'arei Tzion and gives a fiery speech, one of these three, everyone walks inspired. By the next morning, everybody forgot.
next morning, 5 minutes later.
To be Melamed Zchut. So here, at this moment, everyone is still united. Took them a few weeks, from Sivan till Tammuz, a couple of weeks. He pulled off. Then, as you said, the Erev Rav or others. Listen carefully now. Actually,
in the people's defense, right? I mean, if you say the Midrash tells you that Yisra, the Satan was working overtime, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't just
Look a second on page 4. Look a second on page 404. ויחרד כל העם אשר במחנה. Yes. ויוצא משה את העם לקראת האלוקים מן המחנה, ויתייצבו בתחתית הארץ. I'm sure you know that everyone, מה זה ויוצא משה את העם? בליב עיתונה, the Gemara says they slept late. And Moshe Rabbeinu has to wake them up.
That's why we stay on Shavuot.
The obvious question, how is it possible, Eli, that you're preparing 3 days for a momentous occasion? How can you fall asleep? If you have tickets to the Super Bowl, you're not sleeping late that morning. You're up.
Rob, something I heard was that in order to get Neviah, prophecy, Moshe was the only one that was up when he got prophecy. Everybody else was sleeping, and that they were sleeping to anticipate the prophecy.
So the Hasidic masters say, but it's what you're saying, but much more. They say, the Jewish people said there's no way that God is going to appeal to us. Obviously, it means as a prophecy. A prophecy has to be asleep.
So he stayed sleeping purposely.
They couldn't believe that we are going to go to the mountain. Impossible. Moshe said, no, you're going to
so
sleep.
why do we say that we're metaken them that they want to sleep? They want to sleep l'shem shamayim.
Every Hasidic master, this type of Torah has been lamed.
Right.
Of course, the real reason is because it's a arm. The arm is sleeping.
Again, the Orah Haim makes a lot of sense, by the way, when you look at it.
Yes.
Okay.
So
even here when it says Moshe ta'am likrat Elokim, so that means Moshe, I could really say, according to Orah Haim, wasn't worried about the Jews. He knew the Jews were on the page. He took it upon himself to bring out these
everyone.
So he focused on these other people who are in the lower.
This is the emet. Look a second now. ויהי כל השופר הולך וחזק מאוד, משה ידבר והאלוקים יעננו בקול. And through the matan Torah, strong voices. תשמע דבר פלא את בעל הטורים says. תשמע דבר פלא. Listen now, go a second to Makat Barad. Go to Barad a second.
All right, also had the PD.
It's like about Pel. We're not used to it. Look at Makat Barad.
That was in the
Perashat Bo in the beginning.
beginning.
But Ella had 7 and Bo had 6.
The first
No,
one.
it's really, I'm sorry, it's the end of Vayera.
Which one, Barad?
Barad. Go to 3,
Oh, yeah.
go to 336 a second. Shift up. Page 336. Look a second, the way Hashem describes the future Makar of Barad. עודך מסתולל באבין, אני ממתיר כעת מחר ברד כבד מאוד, שלא היה, remember, he's focusing on the Barad. Okay, fine. And he give the word. Let's see now, Pasuk Chavgila. Now the Makkah actually comes. ויית משה את מטהו על השמיים, ואדוני נתן קולות. Kolot was not told by Hashem. Part of the Makkah was the frightening, scary noises that are coming along with it. To the point, look a second. When Paro, go to 338, Ha'atiru, Pasuk 28, Ha'atiru el Adonai, Verab miyot kolot Elohim. What frightened them is more than the Barad. It's coming to you.
The thunder.
When you go to a play or a movie, they give you the noise in the background.
Hollywood knows it. Tishma. Says,
No, it is.
תשמע. Moshe says to him, כצאתי את העיר, אפרוס את כפיי על השם, הקולות יחדלון. Moshe, here's what Barad lo yeh od. Let's read now.
When you're home and you hear lightning,
100%,
or thunder, you get scared with that.
No in Pasuk Lamed Gimel. Over there. ויצא משה 338. ויצא משה מעם פרעה את העיר ויפרוס כפיו ויחדלו קולות והברד לא ניתח ארצה. Yes?
Yeah.
Says the Baal HaTurim that only when you read the Lashon is the Barad lo yeh od. Say the Baal HaTurim that the Torah.
It continued, the thunder continued.
Yes. So he said.
Read the next one. So why is kolot third? If you're going to ask a question, kolot is always the first item, right? Paro switched the order.
Look a second. Look at Pasuk 29. ויאמר עליו משה כצאתי את העיר אפרוס כפיי על השם הקולות יחדלו. והברד לא יהיה עוד. Said the Baal HaTurim, the Barad lo yeh od forever, but the kolot are going to be again the kolot in Ma'amad HaSinai. הוא אומר, the question is, David, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of the kolot? The purpose of the kolot is, look a second, back to 404. Look a second. ויוצא משה את ההר לקראת האלוקים מן המחנה, והתייצבו בתחתית ההר. If you really tuned into text, this is the difficult pursuit. Everyone knows that Torah is going to be given in Har Sinai. Moshe is leading them. מה זה והתייצבו? So look at the Rashi, התייצבו בתחתית ההר, everyone knows. לפי פשוטו ברגלי ההר. Look at the third line in Rashi. ומדרשו, שנתלה ההר ממקומו. So to say Hashem lifted the mountain and put it on top of them. What does it mean? You know, there are multiple interpretations. But the simple pshat is, Tosafot are asking the Masechet Shabbat, why is it necessary to put the mountain on top of them? Basically they say, Naaseh v'nishma. The answer is what you said before. This is your question before. An inspiring speech, always what makes you. 2 days later, the excitement comes down, and a week later, everyone walks away from Ne'ilah before the shofar. We're human. The Torah is teaching us because we are human, we need two parts. One is the excitement, one is Benishma, but
Fear.
that's the fear. I mean, this is life. This is the purpose of the kolot. The purpose of the kolot is, I mean, in our language, it means when you're facing certain situations, the only thing that holds you back is
Fear.
inner fear.
The Lo Ta'aseh, the strength to go against the Lo Ta'aseh only
More or
comes
less,
from Yirah.
more or less.
Funny, you know, Jojo, his father told me he used to do the tzedakah at the office. He said, never write a check on the spot. This is why he's a rabbi.
Yeah,
If a rabbi's a good salesman. He'll get you inspired.
He
said, and you might give him more than what you really have. He says, always tell him, let me think about it and I'll get back to you. He says, you'll calm down. He goes, you're going to write a different check. He taught it to me years ago. I learned from
Ask Rav Amnon.
Huh?
Rabbi Prague understands.
501, you went to $18.
No, he said.
No, they don't say that, do they, Rabbi Prague? Do they know that story? Those Friday, why would they know a story like that?
No, yeah. It's one of the stories by us in Rosh Hashanah in the Machzor. It's a very serious story. Rabbi Amnon Magenza was a very successful man, advisor to the king. He was a man that he loved very much. So the king says to him, "You are amazing. If you are willing to convert to Christianity, I'll make you like my vice president." For some reason, he told him, "I need 3 days to give you an answer." But remember, he gave him such promises. He was a good salesman, the king. Anyway, on the 3rd day, it's Rosh Hashanah. He comes and he says to the messengers, "I'm definitely not coming." They take him against his will. He says, "Cut my feet." I mean, they really chopped him off. And this is why we wrong. No, he died of Kiddush Hashem. That's very famous. And he says, "The reason why I'm suffering and punishing is because I made a mistake by telling you 3 days. Should have said right away the no." And yes, so what Larry is saying is
Opposite.
The king
Well, it depends what the item is.
the item was to become the vice president.
Yeah, well, it's a good one.
That's all. There was no question. That's one.
It's a good excuse sometimes not to give tzedakah. Come back in 3 days. The check is in the mail. The check is in the mail.
He said,
It says if you have a rabbi who's a good, that day he could make you
Good pitch.
a good pitch.
what? I'm on vacation at least. My being on vacation.
But Larry, in business, I have to tell you, business. When I first started selling, a lot of times a buyer asks you for something, and you know the answer is no. I used to tell them no right away, yelling and screaming for 2 weeks. Now I learned. Let me get back to you. They're asking me from some crazy money. Maybe 2 weeks later, I did nothing in 2 weeks. I send her an email. I'm still working. I'm trying to get it for you. It's thank you for trying. At the end of the day, I'm still telling her no, but she felt like I was trying to. You can't be honest most of the time. No, but you tell a customer no right away. Oh, no, what do you mean? You're not a partner? You don't want to help?
Look a second in 412. This is like
A lot of times they tell me, "Give me a price now." I said, "No, I don't want to give you a price."
Always.
the whole
Even though I know what I'm gonna charge.
I know the price all the
Where
time.
are we?
Oh, it happened to me 2 weeks ago. I told the buyer, she goes, "I need a good price." I called her up. I said, "You're not going to believe the price that I got you." I wouldn't tell her the price. I just 5 minutes I'm going on. She goes, "Can you just tell it to me already?" I gave her the price. She goes, "Oh my God, I'm the same price I was going to give it 20 minutes ago."
וכל העם רואים את הקולות ואת הלפידים ואת כל השופר ואת ההר השם. The famous question is, why was it important? רואים את הקולות, you know רואים את הקולות?
Eyesight is more than
you see the words. Why? You hear it. It's clear. It's coming from Hashem speaking to Moshe. Listen to something fascinating. Listen. The Gra of Vilna had 2 famous students. One was Reb Chaim Volozhin, who established Yeshivat Volozhin. The other one was Reb Zalman Volozhin. Reb Zalman knew Kol Torah Kula word by word, which means every Rambam, every Shulchan Aruch, one of these. So they asked the brother.
Yeah.
He says, "Well, my brother knows Kol Torah like we know Ashrei. Every Jew knows Ashrei." So they asked
That's Rabbi.
Zalman Volozhin, the brother of Reb Chaim.
You never heard of him. Chaim is the famous one.
So they asked him if he knows Kol HaTorah like Ashrei, how about your Rebbe, the Krav? David, you know Ashrei Baal Peh? Jimmy, what is the pasuk, David, before Malchutcha?
No dear.
The answer is you have to memorize.
Think a second.
You have to think.
You have to think a second.
The
Like he
difference
said, the
is-
lamed before the mem.
The difference is by the Gra, whatever you would ask him, he would tell you backwards. What's the difference? And if you look in the Sidur and Ashrei, you can tell it right away. It says by the Gra Vilna, the Torah was written before the
Wow.
Zalman
He sees
Balozi
it the other way.
says v'chol ha'am ro'im et ha'kolot, because Aseret HaDibrot had to be seen to be internalized in a way. This is part of you.
You told us one time the word lo
Lo.
teftach.
Right,
Remember that?
right.
Lo, not,
This is the Hasidic.
not, yeah,
The
not,
Hasidic
not with a
interpretation
aleph, not with a
is-
vav.
If you wouldn't see it, you would say lo with a vav. For the
Hashem.
sake of God, you can see it.
Arabs took it.
Okay, have a nice day. Sunday we're still learning here, and next week we'll learn on Zoom.
You have a minute?
To deal.
Oh, nice.
Oh, for the weekend?
Yeah, no,
Nice.
Jeff, no. It'll be the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll have,
Oh, you're not gonna see. I think
Have
Rabbi
a-
Nachum's away.
have a nice day. Every year we used to meet.
I know, but I think
Yeah.
he was supposed to go to Israel.
Tell me one of the minyanim,
Deal shul?
they didn't shul